Ability Center's Before Bed Stretch.
Hi everyone, my name is Megan. Welcome to your Before Bed Stretch. Joining me today in that seated position is Sydney. We're gonna guide you through kind of like a full body stretch to get you prepared for bedtime. So hopefully this helps alleviate any pain that you have in your muscles, any stress, anything like that to get you ready for sleepy time. Alrighty, so you can choose to be on a mat or a comfortable surface or in that chair position, completely up to you. We're gonna start, if you are in the mat position, in our cat-cow position. So I'm gonna get onto my hands and knees. Sydney's gonna have her feet hip-width apart. She's gonna make sure in that chair position she's up nice and tall and her bum's away from the back of the chair. Alrighty, so we're gonna make sure our shoulders are over top of our wrists, fingers are spread, hips are over top of those knees in that mat position. And again, Sydney's up nice and tall, has her hands in her thighs. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna dip our chest down, looking up, so have that head up. Sydney's gonna have her hands come to her hips and arch that back. And then we're gonna round our back, head is looking between our knees, and Sydney's gonna round forward. Hands are coming towards her knees, chin to her chest. And we're just gonna take our time alternating between cat and cow, taking your time. Good. We don't wanna rush through these. Allow those muscles to activate and stretch. And you can take it here at your own pace, whatever that is. Nice work. Already this is feeling so good. One of my favorite movements. And if you hold it just for a little bit, it adds that stretch component. Nice work. So just keep alternating through these wherever you are, in the chair, on the mat. Nice. Let's do one more of each. So a round for cat, or if you're at cow, and then the opposite. Good work, awesome. All right, we're gonna go into a high plank on the mat position. So we're gonna lift our knees off of the mat, straighten ourselves up. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna pike our bum up towards the ceiling, head going between our elbows, and then coming back into that high plank. If you would like to, you can go onto your knees, okay? And you can push yourself back, kind of going into a child's pose, so bum towards your heels, and then come back into that high plank for a little bit of that less intense option. In your seated position, you're gonna have your legs out as far as you feel comfortable, whether that's fully straight or slightly bent, and you're gonna lean back as far, and then as you come back up into that seated, you can lift a foot off the floor to add a little bit of intensity to that. All right, let's get started. So high plank, going into that pike position, kind of like downward dog here. Taking our time. If you need to adjust your feet, you need to adjust yourself on the chair. Okay, so we're only gonna do a few here. Add a little bit of a stretch and a little bit of movement. Nice. And again, you have that knee option as well to push back. Nice. And in that seated position, you don't have to add that knee or that leg lift. Lots of options. Let's do one more all together. Nice. Okay, if you need a little bit of a breather for a moment, you can roll your wrists, you can kind of shake it out a bit. We're gonna go back into that pike position, so the downward dog, but now we're gonna pedal our feet, okay? So in that mat position, we're going to be moving our heels down towards the mat as one comes up, and then alternate. You're gonna bend your knees as well, okay? Take breaks when you need them. In that seated position, you're gonna lean back and you're gonna, like you're pressing the gas, right? So toes down, alternating sides, heels on the floor. So join us whenever you're ready, pedaling those feet. Good, making sure we're breathing, feeling that stretch going through the calf. Nice work. Good, let's do one more on each side. Nice. We're gonna come down. If you're in that mat position, I want you to place your hips onto the mat. Your tops of your feet are on the floor, and we're gonna kind of arch back a little bit going into our cobra position. In that seated position, you're gonna arch your back so you can place your hands on your chair, Or if you want to, you can reach your hands out towards the ceiling. And when you're adding that arch, we're not super arching back, okay? Take your time on this one and just arch back as far as you feel comfortable to feel that stretch going through your core. Nice. And if you need a little bit of a breather, you can always lay on the mat or release in that chair, and you can always go back up. And breathing. Definitely starting to get ready for that bedtime. This is so good. Awesome. Let's hold 3, 2, 1, and release. In that mat position, I want you to lift your body off of the mat, bring your bum towards your heels. If you need to separate your knees just a little bit as well, wherever you are. And in that chair position, I want you to fold forward through your hips as far as you feel comfortable. So the idea is our goal is to maybe get our chest on top of our thighs, but maybe you need to put your hands on your thighs for support. You can hug your legs if you want to. Just hold it here for a moment. And in that mat position, aiming to get our head down towards the floor, bum to our heels. So my bum does not go to my heels, but I'm trying my hardest. Just depends, so listen to your body. And in this position, I want you to walk your hands over to the left side. Now you're gonna feel a stretch going through the right. Good, and Sydney's following right along in her seated. Allow those muscles to stretch out, taking your time. Good, let's gently bring it back into the middle. Hold here for a moment. And let's go over to the opposite side. So towards that right, feel it in the left. Good work. Good, gently bring it back into the middle. And just hold here for a moment. Allow the muscles to stretch. Good, and gently release. All right, I'm gonna flip over to my back. Good. All right, so now we're gonna have knee to chest. So I'm gonna tuck my left knee in towards my chest. So now I can grab behind my knee or in front, and Cindy's gonna be doing the same. So she can grab either in front of her knee or behind. And in that mat position, I want you to straighten the opposite. And in that seated position, you can keep that opposite bent if you would like to. So our goal here is to stretch out our glutes, pulling it in as tight as you feel comfortable. So if you maybe want to do with less range of motion, whatever works for you. And just breathe here. Allow those muscles to stretch out. Excellent. Let's gently release and go over to the other side. So gently switch sides no matter where you are. Sydney, how you feeling?
I'm feeling ready for bed.
Right? I'm like ready to get in my PJs and like get cozy, snuggle with the dog. This is feeling so good. Nice and relaxing. And I hope you're feeling relaxed as well. So just taking your time, breathing through it, calming the mind, stretching those muscles out. Nice work. All right, so for this side in the mat position, I want you to take that right knee and rotate it towards the left side of the floor. You can use your left hand to pull down gently if you would like to. Sydney in her seated position is going to be twisting. Okay, it doesn't matter which way, we're gonna be doing both ways, so whether you wanna twist to the left or to the right. So it's just gonna be opposite hand on the opposite knee, twisting around, making sure when you are twisting though, you're staying up nice and tall. So we don't wanna be slouching. Listening to your body and how far you wanna bring the knee over or how far you wanna twist. We just wanna stretch out that back. Nice. All right, let's gently bring it back into the middle and let's switch over to the other side. So same thing. So you might notice maybe the range of motion is a little bit different on this side, and that's okay. Allow your muscles to do their thing, stretch out. Good. Making sure we're still breathing through it. Alrighty, so we're gonna come up into a seated position, so gently releasing. If you want to roll to your side and push yourself up, taking your time and coming into that seated position. We're now going to place the bottom of our feet together and just allow those hips to open. In your seated position, you're gonna bring your legs as wide as you feel comfortable. Toes are gonna be pointing out about 45 degrees, and you're gonna gently press on the insides of your knees. You choose the pressure. Just like if you're in that seated, you allow those hips to open. If you would like to hold on to your ankles in that mat position, you can. If you want to add a little bit of a hinge, add a little bit more of a stretch, you can definitely do that in seated as well. I definitely have to say this is probably one of my favorite stretches because it's the one that as I get looser, the muscles are not as tight, I notice a difference. I notice the knees are going down further, or in that seated, I'm able to push a little bit more. So just listen to your body. Over time, your muscles will loosen up as the more you stretch, whether it's before bed, after a workout, after a stroll around the neighborhood. Good. This is like the spa for your muscles, right? Stretching it out. And it doesn't cost you anything. Just, you could take 5 minutes, 10 minutes, stretch it out. Oh, it feels so good. Awesome. All right, let's gently release. Fantastic. I hope you feel ready for bed. I know I'm totally ready. You ready?
So ready.
Let's do this. So thank you so much for joining Sydney and I for your before bed stretch. We hope you feel good. We feel good. And guess what? We'll catch you next time. See you later.
Ability Center's before bed stretch.